Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town.
Yeah, listen, we've still got to improve. There's no question of that. But I thought, from the 20 minutes spell the other night, we got a full 90 minutes performance there. I thought, a really tight game in the first half, and we give it, a sloppy set play away. Just a simple man standing in the zone, really, what we've worked on. But I just thought the boys coming out second half, they could go one way or the other way after what's gone on of late, and especially the other night. But they stood up, to be counted. The subs had a huge impact on the game as well. And I thought, the way Wigan have been performing of late, they're the better team in the second half. In a lot of the games, I thought we were much the better team and finished the strongest.
Interim manager John McGreal there. Well, hello again, my friends. And you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday flagship show. I'm, of course, your host, The Gov, looking to guide you through the next 60 minutes. Also, we do occasionally have some additional time added on for bad behaviour and looking to see what the contributors feel following yesterday's 1-1 draw with Wigan, and more importantly, what you guys and girls at home are feeling about your football team after yesterday's 1-1 draw. Obviously, Wigan sits second. It's hard to stomach as Town fans, but they are second and a better team than us and in the third division of English football. So is it a good point away from home? Is it a good building block to take into pack out Portman Road next weekend with Sunderland? Or was it a case of should have done better, could have done better? We should be better. I'd love to hear what you've got to say in the chat. Before we go any further, as always, if you are a regular here, you will know what's coming. And if you are a regular here and not yet on these boards, why? Why are you not on these boards? But thank you all so much to our TT Fifth Stand members. There are some additional names being added. There are some additional names already on here. I know AD Croucher has to be added. We thank you very much for your support, my man. And there we go. We're down to 4 anonymous people. Look, only 4 left. We have yet to find 4. But if you wish to stay anonymous, that is absolutely fine. Right. How are we feeling? There'll be a live link at some point, so keep those eyes ready for that live link. You don't need a webcam, just need a microphone. Although I would stress those without webcam need to be sort of platform regulars. It's a live broadcast. We can't just be sticking any Tom, Dick or Harry on without a webcam, particularly when you've got the Cruncher on your show. Because he's got a lot of supporters. Stephen Parry, good afternoon. Roy Clark, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mike D. He was drinking from the Matt Phillips well of negativity yesterday. And good grief. Well, to be fair, he had just spent £60 on a Christmas tree. So I can sympathise. Mine was $42.99. It hurt enough as it is. Jem, welcome in all the way from North Wales. I hope you're well. Let's get cracking. Let's bring in, talking of the well negativity, let's bring him in, but you won't have his intro. Instead, let's remind ourselves how yesterday's game. For those who near, you're just fine. Matt Phillips, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I've not heard that since last Christmas.
No, since you penned it many moons ago under the influence of Romanian red wine. So the rumour goes. Talk us through that song, Matt. Where did the inspiration hit you for Christmas telly?
This is back when I had a publishing deal with the guy who mentored Simon Cowell. His name was Ellis Rich. And I suddenly thought, if I said to him I had a Christmas track, it would, it add another string to me bow. Yeah. So I said I had one, but I hadn't written it at that point. So then I had to go home and write it.
Blag it, mate.
Yeah, I blagged it a little bit, and
just like life, fake it until you make it. But are you living off the royalties of that? Obviously, every Christmas, you're led to believe people like Mariah Carey, Michael Bublé, all the Christmas songs they write, that puts them on the Bahamas and such like. Are you one of those, or is this?
Well, you've seen the plan. That was the plan, but unfortunately, no.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Did you know the fairy tale of New York by the Pogues has got 75 million YouTube views? How many has Christmas Telly got?
Oh, God. 600 maybe? Probably not
Million.
even that.
Million. Wow, Matty Phillips, you're rocking and you're rolling. Listen, it's a great song. Check it out on YouTube, guys. You've got some other ones. Here Comes the Sun is my personal favourite. Yesterday, you saw the highlights. I thought they went better with your track, to be fair. It made it a lot more palatable. 1-1 away at Wigan. But before we get into that, how's your Sunday going? What have you got planned for today?
I've just been told we've got another roast dinner arriving. You may recall this happened last week.
I do, yes.
We've got on Deliveroo in Chelmsford, we've got the Toby Carberry.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah, that's coming from there. Last week I had Lizzie had beef, I had the turkey. It was good. So we've got that coming around about 3-ish.
Nice. Okay, cool. Anything this morning?
I took my son outside and we played a little bit of, the swing ball with the tennis. I feel like he might have an aptitude. He's not very sporty, but I feel like he might have an aptitude for tennis. Unfortunately, he's also got an aptitude for being John McEnroe because he started moaning.
I can't think where he got it from. I really cannot think where he got the moaning from.
A little bit like me at the Rotherham game.
Well, yes, absolutely. I've been putting the tree up all this morning, put the lights on it, the tinsel. Would you like to see my Christmas tree, Matt?
Yeah, go for it.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at that. Very, very Scrooge-esque, that, isn't it?
That's not really my Christmas tree for those at home. I think I paid $42.99 for that. No.
Well, Mike is in the chat. 60. I don't know how much we paid for our Christmas tree. I dread to think. Mike wasn't happy over the 60 quid, but I really enjoyed his cameo. It was good. I felt like I had a soulmate there.
Yes, it was like having you on the show. That is absolutely right. Right, let's complete the trio. Again, we're gonna get John McGreal's thoughts on the change of formation. We'll kick that off, I think, with Crunch.
Is that his name, John McGreal? Because according to the Wigan commentary, his name was James McGreal.
Well, that was the same. The BBC Sport website column that had Cruncher running the show with McGreal as interim manager.
Is it that difficult to read your notes? I don't get it.
Well, if you put McGreal into Word wants to change it to McGreal. So,
the best one the Wigan guy was doing was calling Janoy Donassian Johnny Donochon. But he kept doing it in that French accent. And there's Donochon. I was thinking, you're doing it in a French accent and also saying it wrong.
That's like Frank Nuble.
Yeah,
is it a Nuble on the ball?
Yeah, they were so irritating, those Wigan commentators. I mean, I like to listen to the away commentary just to get a different take, but oh god,
yes,
really annoying.
Well, there you go. You see. Anyway, here is John McGreal's interim manager with his fourth.
To try and we didn't have a shot on goal the other night. We've had shots around the box, but we didn't have a shot on goal. And I'm thinking, it's criminal, really. A club of our size in this division. So, as well as we want to be intricate and be playing, but we've worked on a bit of a shape, and it wasn't just a 4-4-2 and this. There was a little bit of intricacy at times there today, and we needed two boys up top. That was the big thing, and we felt we could get at their back four, and it proved the case.
The man that was at both fixtures, not for me, Richard Cruncher Moss. There was John McGreal. Crunch. You heard his thoughts there. You saw the results. He went 4-4-2. That's a big talking point to kick things off with, really.
I'm a bit sort of. I might not be mine on the show today, Max. I've got the iPad here with the Grand Prix, and it is looking good for Lewis. Come on.
Yes.
I want to spoil it for anyone who's in the chat. Yeah. Lewis is in the lead, by the way. There you go.
Good man. Yes, thanks for. I was going to watch that after the show, but cheers for that.
Change of formation. Yeah, it didn't really work for me first off. Huffing and puffing, and Lee Evans and Sam Morsey. Not for me. If you're playing a 4-4-2, Martin, you can't play both of them in.
No. No.
You've got no creativity there going forward.
You've
second half
pace either.
And the two up top, they can't play together as long as they got a hole in their ass. Bond and Piggott. They were like this.
No, that's a bit hard.
They were miles apart. They were miles.
We've heard that analogy before about Bailey Clements, no?
Yeah, James Norwood won't play.
Where's he now, then, Matt? Where's he now, then?
Yeah,
out of the team.
Yeah,
and then obviously we all have to eat some humble pie on this platform. Not just me.
I don't.
You do. No, you have to give him credit because he changed the game when he came on by running around and looking busy.
Yeah. Bring
No,
some energy.
You can't sit there and not give him credit yesterday. You can't. You have to give him some credit. We wouldn't have got a point if he didn't come on, Norwood.
What is Martin eating, by the way? If you're listening, Martin's munching on something right now. Have you blagged them biscuits from a coffee shop?
No, I got them bought for my birthday.
You need to give Norwood credit. You know, we're not his biggest fans, but I think yesterday.
No.
Why won't you give him credit?
No.
Why?
Just won't. Why?
But why?
Won't.
What,
I won't.
Rich,
did you not cheer when he scored then? Did you not cheer?
Next question.
No, did you cheer when he scored?
Rich,
I didn't know.
You was in the stadium yesterday. What kind of reception around you did Norwood get when he came on?
He got very good reception. I had Lee Anderson telling me in front of me that he's never wrong, Matt, when he scored. Anyway, what was that camera angle with Lee when he was on the pre-show? It was either in his ear or up his nose.
Oh, what on the full-time fans rec show? Yeah, he couldn't hear us. He was at the train station, which you know, I respect him coming on the show from there. But yeah, we will get to Norwood. Yeah, we will get to Norwood. We do have to obviously talk.
What great ears he's got.
Beautiful ears, beautiful ears. Your cricket partner Brandon loved them, particularly in the chat I saw. He took his goal really well. To be fair to James Norwood,
I do agree with Mike D's comment in the chat there that we had two strikers and they still looked isolated in the first half.
They did in the second half. Even when Norwood came on, the difference was we actually had a quality ball put in the box. First time all game.
Also, Norwood likes to run. You actually saw him as a striker looking for the ball, so going a little bit deeper out to the channels, actually running into the box with it. That was probably the little bit of different. I don't think Bond does that particularly, or does that particularly well.
Matt, who they took off for me. I thought they were both poor, Bond and Piggott. You know, the
problem with Piggott, Rich, is he keeps getting these opportunities. Oh God, Martin's choking on him biscuits now.
I am sorry.
The problem with Piggott is he's now been given some time, and he doesn't look anything like the striker we were told about. And we did say at the start of the season, is there a little bit of a Sam Parkin-esque about him? I'm beginning to think he's more Sam Parkin than.
Oh, he's feeding off scraps. To be fair to the guy, absolutely feeding off.
But you know, and Lee was correct in this, and when he said you bring Norwood on, he makes things happen, and he said that over the last few months. Piggott doesn't do that, does he?
No,
he was Johnny on the spot, wasn't he, Norwood yesterday?
He took his goal really well. That's what you want from a striker coming off the bench. Yeah, he took it really well. He said to John McGreal all week he would score, and he did. What
I want to know about James Norwood is what the hell has been going on at that football club. Who has it been down to that he's... Mark Ashton is full of chat. So would it be great if he actually came out and clarified to the fans what was going on? Because we all see the tweet when Cook got sacked from Norwood. Obviously, there was no problem between them. You know? Who is it down to that he's not been playing then? Yeah,
it's a great point. Because we were led to believe he was outcasted to the 23s, and then suddenly John comes in and he's back in the fold.
But then if you're Paul Cook, Matt, you could rightly say, I've not had all my tools at my, because you've told me that I can't play him. The interim manager's come in, and then he's coming off the bench and scoring. So I'd like Ashton to come out. He won't come out. Obviously, he won't come out and clarify. But then that's how fans get divided. Someone's saying, "Oh, look, Arnold should be playing." Others saying, "Oh, he'll never play for the club again," which I said. But we don't know. We want the East Anglian to ask that question in the presser. I'd like that question asked. Why is he not been available for Cook, but now available for McGreal? Weird.
Well, it is, but also equally, just as well, I want to play something that McGreal said yesterday post game, and it sort of ties in a little bit. It's about Shackle.
Our fans have turned out in the thousands again, and you just but I said earlier on in the press the other day, you could just sense something through the week. You could just feel something that the shackles are just starting to break off, and the noise now around the dressing room and the building is just starting to get higher and higher and higher. And I think that's proved that with that performance, especially the second half performance.
What shackles is he referring to?
So I was about to say, I've written here shackles ? What shackles is it?
What do you feel he's because it's not the first time he said shackles. So
good song. That was a good song, Matt. Who sung that song?
What's that?
Shackles. Who sung that song?
No idea. I remember Chains by Tina Arena. I'm in chains. Is that Tina Arena?
Was what are these shackles that he keeps talking about?
I didn't see any shackles coming off that team yesterday. I see a team that for me, we all stood there at full time and they came over and applauded us, and we applauded them back because they give it a go, Martin, yesterday. Put a bit of effort in, which they didn't do at Charlton. But I wouldn't say there was any free-flowing football, and we were
certainly. I think we looked shackled in the first half, quite frankly.
I didn't think it was a great game overall, Matt. I didn't think it was a great game. I didn't think Wigan were anything special, you know. Maybe we can talk about the goal they did score, which possibly might have been offside, and the goal that was disallowed that was probably onside. I think Keane was onside. If you look at the still, it's very marginal.
They even out in the end. But this shackles thing, and then in the same breath, he's talking about the noise and the atmosphere. The grey area, I've always said, is where you start to get the conspiracy theories and start to really, if you live in it, you can start to sort of hypothesize different things.
Mary. There you go, Matt. She sung that. Shackles.
She did. Praise You. It was called Praise You, wasn't it?
There you go, yeah.
That was Callie. No, that was all Callie in the chat. To be fair, I just picked it up. But it's intriguing me because he keeps talking about these shackles. Then we're talking about atmosphere. It's almost like we're bottom of the table, cut adrift. Like what was it like when he came in? Is this why Norwood was out of the team? This is where you can start living, Matt, in this grey area of connecting dots and making. Yeah,
I think all the guys in the comments are making the point there. Maybe the shackles was the 4-2-3-1. We've always said, do the players like playing that system? Because they said, for the majority of this season, didn't look it. So maybe that's the shackles. But I mean, I don't know. Is it just a turn of phrase?
Have we got the players though, Matt, to play a 4-4-2? Because, like I said, Morsey and Evans in a 4-4-2. No, one plays. The other doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think Evans is getting a lot of criticism, isn't he? But obviously, he put the ball in. I looked at the stats yesterday. We played about 30 more long balls than we did at
Hollywood.
Charlton.
That's what I'm going to nickname him from now on.
Hollywood.
Lee Hollywood Evans, because that's all he does, the Hollywood pass.
I don't mind him doing that if it actually, we're sticking, because there's always a pressure in football these days, isn't there, to play the formation that is the trend at the time. Guardiola played tiki-taka and everyone wanted to play that. But, I mean, there's no doubt Evans pumping it long, Jim Magilton style, from taking the ball from the keeper or the back four, pumping it long to the strikers, was working yesterday. For me.
We need to get Player of the Year, Raheem Harper, in that midfield. I'm telling you, you're missing a trick. McGreal's, Cook, everybody missing a trick. Get Player of the Year, Raheem Harper, in that team. He'll offer pace and power.
Well, will he? Because I haven't seen it from him yet. You just want him in to start putting in some Player of the Year performances.
No. Actually, it works the other way. The longer he's on the bench, the more I can sit here and say he's not getting opportunities. So he would be if he was playing, but he's not getting the chances.
Was he yesterday?
No, he wasn't. Not again. No. But we do need someone next to Morsey who's more dynamic, more pacey, got more range.
Ashley Bell says Tom Carroll. Not for me. Similar. You need someone who can get forward as well, Martin, and score a goal.
You need a Flynn Downs.
Well, he never scored goals. Flynn never scored goals.
Doesn't need to. You need someone with that work rate, that ability to get from side to side, up and down.
That's Morsey's got.
Morsey's got one gear. Morsey's,
I thought he had a better game yesterday. I thought he had a better game, Morsey. I thought he was all right.
He's solid. Look, if Downs is still here, it'd be either Downs. If Downs is still here, it'd be Downs or Morsey, wouldn't it? Because they're very similar players for me. Neither score goals particularly, but both get stuck in.
Oh, 20 quid from Sweden. Boris, thank you very much, my friend. Greetings from a fan in Sweden.
Shout out Thomas Brolin.
Sweden, absolutely.
Can you pronounce his surname for me, please, Martin?
Yes, I can. Here we go.
Negarosa.
Boris.
Well done.
Negarosa.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, lovely.
You're getting a little Italian slant there. But
I did. Well, you might. Yeah, I don't know. Boris, have you got an Italian heritage, Boris? Because if you have, I've just nailed it. If not, I apologise. Swansea doing well, Gov. Not. Well, they're in the Championship, Colin. So I've not yet looked at the Championship table this year.
They say Downs played centre half yesterday.
They did in the back three. Yeah. Mike reckons I'm on the source. Why am I on the source?
Yeah, you're a bit cavalier today. You started the show early. You've been munching biscuits,
mate. Life is good, all right. It's Christmas time, mistletoes and wine, all right. Anytime you see Michael Bublé and Cliff Richard on the same music channel, you know it's Christmas.
The issue we've got, I was thinking about this morning. The issue we've got, of course, is that have we now in the 19 players that we got, are they only for 4-2-3-1? Because Richard,
Simon Field, we don't know that Paul Cook throws James Norwood out because James Norwood's tweet wouldn't say that. If you actually go back and check his Twitter last Saturday, he said he had no problem with the manager. So this is what I'm saying, Matt. You've got him saying that Cook throws him out. Nobody knows. It's what we want to know. Stuart Watson, Andy Warren, when you do your next interview with Mark Ashton, ask that question.
Apparently, the equivalent is £1.66. 20 SEK. Hey, that's £1.66 more than I had a minute ago, so I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I will take it, and I will run to the bank with it.
Krona? Is it Krona they have in Sweden?
I've got no idea. I thought you looked sober today, Lee Brown. I barely drink. Barely.
And Mike Dean been on the source last night because I watched that. I mean, it was an epic rant.
Oh, it was like him. It was like him.
But he's got to be on the source. If he's paying 60 quid for it, it was a fine tree. 60 quid.
Sarah Davis paid £200 for hers.
Well, how much was your tree, Rich?
It's about 30 quid from home base.
Home base?
Yeah. Where'd you get yours from?
From a garden centre.
I think our tree was from home base, you know. No, B&Q. B&Q it was from.
You buy drills and wood.
I think it might have been B&Q. Yeah, I think we might have gone B&Q, Matt. Yeah, it was either home base or B&Q.
What I like about B&Q is they give retired people an opportunity to get back into work, don't they? They're always the olds. Can you tell me where the trees are, please? Follow me.
B&Q on a Tuesday do an OAP discount. When my dad died, we lost that. That was a great shame. But anyway, and also losing my dad was a great shame as well. Ben Moore, them two watching this because they would have asked those sort of questions by now. £5 from me, says the fisherman. Yeah, he's been lorry surfing in Essex, I reckon, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, no, he hasn't really. I'm really winding him up. He likes to wind me up. He really does. I'm with Mike D though, right? If we're talking about James Norwood, it feels like we've gone back 12 months. It really does.
Well, we said on Friday, didn't we? If you're paying him, why not play him? It seems ridiculous because he's on some big witch. We know that from the Evans era. So it seems ridiculous just to, certainly after a managerial change, not to have all players available. And suddenly it would appear that all players are available. But I mean, how he's come out of the cold all of a sudden, I don't know. But we'd like it. But I mean, look, listen, he showed a little bit more there than Bon, and in that little cameo he had of what was it, half hour? Did he come on about 16-minute mark? He showed more there than probably Bon and Piggott have done combined in the last few games, I would say. And I would say
he's through, don't he, Matt?
Well, he's going to be showing for the Barrow game as a starter, I would have thought.
Yeah, playing there.
You'd have thought, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe him and Caden.
Yes, Boris will make it 1,000 Swedish krona when Tractor Boys reach the Premier League. With inflation, by the time that happens, it might be worth 73p. We got Mike D, had a few Baileys put in the tree up crunch.
Baileys.
There you go. George Nunn, just because he said it doesn't mean it's true crunch. He may have just been being divisive. It's not like that's beyond that kind of behaviour. We
can't get away with the fact that Norwood has been a bit of an idiot on social media and
he
has. And other things that we don't need to go into here.
Well, he deleted it, didn't he, for a while?
Yeah. So there's no need for it really. But I mean, look, we've said this plenty of times. No one really cares who the managers are going to be as long as they bring success. Do we really care what players are like off the pitch as long as they score goals? And I think probably Norwood sums that up. Got us a point yesterday, and a very good point yesterday. I think if we'd been, the Wigan commentary team was saying this could have been, if you'd listened to people at the start of the season, this could have been, first versus second as a match. We still probably would have taken a point there, wouldn't we? So, even though we're down in 11th or 12th, still a really good point for us, especially on the back of Charlton.
Absolutely. Yeah, very true. Pierre Brown, he's gone on a little bit of a rant here, so bear with me as I read this out because I will address it. Gov, you need to read out some of your punters' comments. Community comments, I'd like to call them. Otherwise, what's the point of us coming on here? It's supposed to be our program with everybody's views.
What have you been doing, isn't it? Chance, mate. Give us a chance.
All the YouTube super chats are read out because that comes because you're supporting the platform with it. I will try and read as many as I can out, Pierre. Otherwise, but sometimes it could be just a case of me reading out comments, and then these two might as well go and have a cup of tea and put their feet up. So we'll try and have a conversation, bring the points in when and if I can. But thank you for your valuable feedback. It means a lot. Monty, Norwood, 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal in 30 minutes. He did well. It feels like we've gone backwards with it. Kevin Flack. If he keeps scoring goals, I might start celebrating it. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to keep doing it.
the problem we've got now with a new manager incoming is that we've still got hallmarks of two eras, haven't we? You've got the Evans era, you've got the American era. You've got Paul Hurst players right through to Lambert, through to Paul Cook, to John McGreal, to whoever's going to be in charge. It's still a bit of a mishmash of who we call.
I've got a bunch of bit with you, Matt, anyway.
Oh, go on. What's that?
So last Sunday, I think when we done the show, you said we needed a steady pair of hands.
Yes, I did.
By Friday, you'd flipped and said we need a big name.
Well, that's not a surprise, is it? He is known as Flip Flop.
Well, I did. No one saw the debacle of the Valley coming, did they?
Has that played a part in your thinking then?
I still think, I'm really torn on this one. Because I think, what I think and what Ashton probably thinks are two completely different things, which is probably why he's in that role and I'm not.
Praise the Lord.
I do feel like him and O'Leary are quite conservative. They don't come across as being particularly cavalier. If you look at some of Ashton's previous history at Bristol City and stuff, I mean, when Lee Johnson left, he appointed Dean Holden, Lee Johnson's assistant, and said, this is the guy who's going to take us forward, an in-house appointment. Well, he didn't last. He only lasted 40 games. Then he got Nigel Pearson in. So I do feel like personally he's going to call upon someone that he knows. And I see Derek McInnes was also jumped up in the betting now. A guy that was at West Bromwich Albion as a player when O'Leary and Ashton were both there. So I got on the blower to my old pal Chris at West Brom. He said, great guy, fans would love him, very defensive. But personally thinking, after the Charlton game, would a young manager coming in, would he be able to galvanise that dressing room? I still think maybe to either galvanise the players and us as a fan base, it might need to be a bit more of a bigger name. But like I say, there's 2 points of view now, and I'm really not sure which one he leans towards.
Look, I'm an honest fella, so I'm going to ask you two in the chat now. Derek McInnes, tell me about him. I know nothing about him. What would we expect? What could we expect? Do you want him? Because honestly, I know nothing about this fella.
He's done a good job at Aberdeen, didn't he, Matt?
Aberdeen for 8 years. 8 years. He's got them into Europe. He's got them to cup finals. Chris said he'd probably do a good job for us. But again, you're getting into this defensive way of playing. But then Neil Harris is being touted and is the favourite. And people are saying he was quite defensive. So
you've been listening to some of his interviews, didn't you? When I spoke to you last night, you said
I went in and had a look at a few of Harris's interviews. He's from Essex, shout out. He's from Orsett, which is Thurrock Way, quite a rough area of Essex, South Essex. I mean, he made his name at Millwall, didn't he? So he's their record goal scorer. The fans loved him, akin to like a Tony Mowbray coming into us. Much loved on the terraces, given the job. Did a really good job there. I think watching his interviews, he does. I mean, we all complained about Paul Cook never having a plan B or plan C. I think Harris does bring plan B and C, as David Livermore is his assistant. So we'd expect him to come in. And you saw, do you remember the New Year's Day game when we were 2-1 up and then he brought Morrison on at half time and we lost 3-2? Mm-hmm. The game where I suddenly thought we are going to get relegated. He changed it up big time then. I think he brought Tom Elliott on as well. Do you remember? But I think it went a bit pear-shaped for him at the end. He inherited the Cardiff team that Warnock had and got him to the playoffs. So you might argue that was good, but he had Premier League players at his disposal. But he seems a really good guy. Will he be a good fit for Town? He's not a particularly glamorous name, but maybe Bobby Robson wasn't a particularly glamorous name when he came to Ipswich all those years back in '69. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
You said a name there though that's obviously interesting many fans, and that's Neil Warnock. And while he stays available, Rich, I'm surprised we're not trying to throw the kitchen sink at him, particularly after the words "this season's not over." Like, surely he's got pedigree at this level, or would have pedigree at this level.
Depends if he wanted the job, innit? Warnock.
Yeah. Well, if you don't speak to him, how are you going to know?
They might have spoken to him. We don't know who they've spoken
It'd
to.
Have been linked.
Neil Harris had an interview apparently on Friday.
Yeah, but in the age of clickbait.
When I went down there on Thursday, I was talking to Sam Morsey. He didn't fancy Warnock. He said he's too old now. He should retire. He asked him when he was at Middlesbrough, when are you going to retire? He's like one of them people.
No wonder he got sent out.
he's like one of them people who, they can't give it away. Like a boxer, when a boxer retires and then you'll see they'll come back because they can't, that buzz, they've not got it. They can't find anything else that sort of satisfies them like that. And I think Warnock's a bit like that. He's what is he now? 70, 75 now?
A bit younger, I think. I think he's 73. But I mean, why would he go? Let's just think about it. We've got to look at the bigger picture here, haven't we? Why would we want Neil Warnock to come in? To get us into the top 6? Mm-hmm. And then he leaves, so we get into playoffs. He works his magic that he's done at so many other clubs, going back years and years and years. then he gets us promoted and he leaves, and then
That's fine.
And he's had a window. So the next manager comes in with new Warnock players.
Well, that's if you subscribe to the old methodology of recruitment. If you subscribe to it's Ashton and with input, Warnock's not a bad judge of player. He's brought some quality players in over his managerial career. I just think that scenario you just described there is a much more attractive scenario for better quality caliber of manager than it is the scenario we currently find ourselves.
Maybe. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? You two sitting there wanted Cook gone. You never come up with any names.
Wasn't my job. I'm not paid five. I'm not paid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figure sums.
I'll tell you a fact. You're 10 games in, the manager's struggling. You'll want him out, Martin, because you will.
I won't.
You will. I'll tell you that for a fact now. You will.
I can see why Watford keeps sacking coaches. It's good fun trying to predict who's coming in. It's always a clean slate, isn't it? I'm quite enjoying this.
Plus, if you can see it's not working, or you can feel the vibe around the place, or whatever it may have been, I think in Watford's case it was the vibe. I think I remember reading. Then why not? I mean, let's not sit here, Mr. Whiter than white. Like snow wouldn't melt around you. You fucking want to Cook out as well. So don't you try and sit there and play to the crowd that are pro Cook.
After Rotherham, I think me and Colin were the last two to actually stick by him. And the thing is, Mark Ashton has got rid of him on a whim. They've not got a fucking clue. They haven't, Martin. They haven't got a fucking clue where they're going. They have. No, they haven't.
Rich,
they haven't. If they'd have had a clue where they're going, we'd have had a manager in place by now.
I don't think
they don't know what they want. If you listen to Ashton's interview when he said about we had a board meeting, it was unanimous, but then he drops a little, but I went to them. Who was it? Whose idea was it then? Was it your idea or was it the board's idea? Now,
who runs the football
plan? You should have a plan, Martin, what we're doing and where we're going, and they don't.
I think there is.
Now, someone who comes in has to be an upgrade on Paul Cook, surely. You said you wanted Rob Edwards. You said you wanted Rob Edwards, who's at Forest Green. That would be an upgrade on Paul Cook. 5-5, great game, Matt.
That wouldn't be an upgrade on Paul Cook.
No, it wouldn't.
You have to get out of this thinking of upgrade on Paul Cook. It was not working with Paul Cook. It doesn't matter if he was Paul Cook, Bobby Robson, Sir Ralph. It wasn't working.
Because people like you don't give it any fucking time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Crunch. I didn't know I was running around the fucking town shirt.
2.5 years. You stuck 2.5 years. You stuck by Paul Lambert after stinking the place out, sticking your fucking poster up. And you stuck by him.
That's true too. That's true as well.
And another thing is, our fan base fucking clapped us off to relegation. I'm there the other night, and there's still some there at Charlton. What? What the fuck are you coming for, you fucking morons?
I completely disagree with you.
Breaking news, Terry Noonan, who I think probably is victor of Bet Victor, saying that betting is now suspended. So who's it suspended on? Are we saying Harris? Is that what
we might have a second show this afternoon. Who
knows?
knows?
Give us the rundown. What's going down?
I think there is a plan.
It wasn't working under Cook, was it? Come on. And I was pro Cook up until the Bolton.
I said it was the right thing to get rid of him, but I don't like that they've got rid of him without having a plan of where they're going.
You don't know that.
They don't, Martin. There'd have been a manager in last week if they'd have been talking to someone behind the scenes.
What I would say though, Rich, in response to what you said about Lambert, is that it's much different supporting a manager with one arm to hide behind his back and a squad that consists of the players that he consisted with. I won't say names. Than it is supporting a guy that's probably had the best window we've had in a long time. Everyone now saying
James Norwood's our best striker. Well, who signed him then? Paul Lambert.
I mean, last night.
You've got Ganassi at the club. You've got Enciala at the club.
Well,
you still got players there who were under Lambert.
Look, Lambert was a better manager than Paul Cook. I'm going to say it. There you go. Quite frankly, because and the facts don't care for your feelings, and they don't care for the fact that there's no difference in the two in reality. Paul Cook didn't, he didn't achieve what he wanted to achieve. He came in and said, "I want promotion." We finished 11th in the end. Come on. What I would say though is I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I was going to say that Ashton and O'Leary do not operate without a plan.
No.
Now, whether or not they've communicated that plan to the fan base. In football, you don't let, like a monkey in a tree. They ain't going to let go of one branch until that hand is holding on to another one. There's something in place there. And I think the fact that we've only seen Ryan Lowe leave Plymouth to go to Preston suggests to me it's going to be someone who's not at a club. Because we've not seen anyone suddenly disappear from a club. Have we?
I've seen people this morning on social media. Neil Harris comes in. I'm not getting the season ticket. See,
Well,
that's the thing, Martin. Whoever comes in will not
Yeah.
satisfy everybody.
No.
Well, no, but you got to put your own. But this is what I was going to say. Actually, you've nudged me a little bit. Is the ITFC timeline on Twitter predominantly? Like last night, I just had to bin the phone.
I'll see your
because
tweet. I'll see your tweet.
I popped on thinking we're gonna have some positive stuff from fans.
Told you so. Told you so.
And then what you get is fans arguing about who did or didn't support James Norwood. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, ridiculous. Yeah.
We've got
I had to
nothing
I had to ring up yesterday, Matt, the chairman of the James Norwood Appreciation Society on the way home. Hawks.
Yeah, well,
The windows.
it's okay. One thing saying like, oh, you know, I binned him off. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Or I've always thought Norwood was a great player. It's the ones that sort of dig each other out and, you know, make it a.
That's a social media for you, isn't it? And at the end of the day, no one is bigger than the club. No, James Norwood is not bigger than the club, and Paul Cook was no bigger than the club. Unless you're delivering for the club, you know what I mean?
Are you still on the transfer list?
Good.
He might end up going. The new gaffer might not fancy him. Or the new gaffer might come in and go, I like this guy.
What I did see on social media, which absolutely made me gush with pride.
Hang on.
Look at this.
Oh,
look at this.
What has Stephen Parry got hiding under his shirt in the chat? Can we have some ideas, please?
I've got no idea.
Who we got here? We've got it's Kev.
We've got Ben, Leighton Durran. We've got Callie, Lee Bayliss.
Don't forget Ant's behind.
Ant's still. Yeah, see him. Rich, Stephen, Amy, and I know the guy's name. Kevin. Thank you. Yes.
Kev Gates. Yeah, it's Kev.
Yep. Look at that. Look. The Talking Town family and community. Look at that. That's what made me really happy yesterday. I'm really proud because that's the.
And you're all going to Barrow? They all, that's our sort of northern fan base, isn't it? Everyone going to Barrow as well?
No,
yeah, absolutely. Talking of which, one of them is here. What was under your shirt, Mr. Parry?
That's called giving up smoking, that is.
Oh, I did that 5 years ago. Hard work.
The weight's starting to pop on. Plus, the fact
what's happened to your voice? Was all that shouting yesterday? Is that abusing them Northerners? He was abusing them Northerners. I said to him yesterday, man, pull one of them.
You vocal on the terraces, Steve. You vocal.
I'm from Brighton. I'm not one of them. The bloody pie eaters. Sod them. Yeah, but come on, it was like a sodding morgue. I've seen more life in Cobblestone. Seriously.
Fuck off.
They were quiet as mice.
That's it. Hatchet job.
Bring him back. Get him back in.
This wasn't a dig. I said there was more life in Cobblestone. I didn't say it was worse. You know.
I love you, Steve.
They were like church mice. So
now, here's a question for you, Steve. Who was the cruncher on the phone to? He was packed.
My dad.
I didn't know.
Every game, Matt.
Oh, right.
Actually missed start at second half because I was talking to Amy and finishing my drink off, so I missed that second half. But no, I tell you what, they didn't look like a top two side. I'm sorry.
No, they didn't. Absolutely.
The fan base didn't look like a top two side. If we were top two, even if we were playing badly but still top two, there'd have been noise. There was nothing. It was horrible, and I'd have been ashamed. If they had some odd-shaped ball, I guarantee they'd have making some serious weird noises.
Rugby town, isn't it?
If it was rugby, they'd be making some serious noises. That was awful. That reminds me of going back to Springfield Park when they used to play there. You know, they've not moved on. They borrowed someone's stadium, but they've not moved on as a club.
I even found out yesterday. We walked to the ground, didn't we, Stephen? There was the bingo hall there, Matt, where he used to work. Next to the ground.
I got stabbed in there.
I've never been to bingo.
In there. Got stabbed in the leg
because someone spent their husband's money. Spent his wages. It's not bad.
Never been bingo, mate. Never done it. Never done bingo.
There's some vicious buggers in bingo, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, but there is.
No, but at the end of the day, I'm not really bothered who we get in. And I've said this all along. It's not our call. Sacking Cook wasn't our call. I'm not looking at any of this. Who said she said, he said, Cook was, Mike Ashton has said that all players were available to play. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We need to wait for Paul Cook to come out and say, no, he's lying. I've not heard him say that yet. So I can only go off that Mike Ashton's telling us the truth. Until Paul Cook says something, I'm not going to listen to Norwood. He probably wasn't in the conversation. Until Paul Cook comes out and says that, then we've got to assume Mark Ashton's telling us the truth, because he very quickly got into John McGreal's plans. If Mark Ashton doesn't want to play him, he's not going to play him. He's going to say to John McGreal, no, I've never let him play for him. He's not going to play for you. And so I don't see where that conspiracy comes from. It's a tweet that he put out because he was annoyed and he wants to get back into the team and he feels he's being hard done by. You know, I get that. You know, he wants to keep his career going. I get that. I'm quite happy to stick my hand up. Me and Crunch said at the match, this game needed Norwood. They were passing it around at the back and they needed someone to chase them, have a go at them. And they weren't doing it. And we needed someone like that terrier to have a go at them. That game would have been perfect for James Garner. You know, just have a run at the defenders, stop them playing the ball. And he did that. And we got rewarded for that.
Yeah.
In the end, I think we could have won. It would have been unjustified.
You're right. They didn't look like a top 2 team. They were very slow, weren't they? Lots, as Martin would put, stat padding around the back 4, wasn't there?
They were really a nasty team. And I don't think the referee helped either. You know, I think he lost control of that game very quickly and he didn't get it back.
Kettle's useless. Yeah.
All he's done now is give Wigan fans an excuse to say, oh, we were robbed. The referees robbed us.
Yeah.
In other words, your team was shit. On the day, your team wasn't good enough. And if they had gone up against a Rotherham or I'd say a Sunderland, they would get tonked. They were awful. And I'll tell you what, if that setup was Paul Cook's assistant, I'm looking in the, other time, other era idea now. Yeah. I wouldn't have won either of them, because that was awful. And I think it worked and it had its time and its place. In League One now, it doesn't have a time or a place. I think we need to be, I'm very open to Neil Harris. I know people will turn around and say, well, we don't like his football. Well, no one was complaining much when Mick McCarthy was getting us to the playoffs. Mick McCarthy didn't change a lot in his tenure. Yeah, his football stuck pretty much the same, long ball to Murphy, and we got to the playoffs. And I didn't really see a lot of people saying, I'm not going to the playoff semi. It was a packed house. So when you're winning, people are a little bit more forgiving on how you play.
Absolutely.
I just think of it this way. Sometimes in League One, we all want style and substance, but it's like lightning in a bottle. Very hard to find, and if you've got it, you don't let it go. So getting those managers are rare, so sometimes you have to pick one. We've been trying to pick style and substance. Let's just go for substance. Let's give style the elbow until we get to Championship and we've got a big pool of managers we can pick from and say, let's just get up and then see where we go and see what we can do. And if Neil Harris is the guy, then so be it. Let's get behind Neil Harris, give him everything he's got, everything he needs, and let's just get out of this bloody league because that's all I want. I'm fed up of playing Cambridge. I'm sorry. I know there's lots of lovely clubs I can go to, but I don't like this league. It's horrible. And I want to go. If that means going up with Neil Harris, then so be it. And I enjoyed the day yesterday. I'd love to have gone. Matt offered me a ticket to go up to Barrow, but I've got a birthday party to go to. I can't even sort out Saturday. I've got a 5-year-old's birthday party to go to. I've got to go dress as a princess. So she wants everyone's got to come as a princess. So I'm going when we create a Budweiser as a princess.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great comment, Steve, as well. He's right though, isn't he, Matt? Got to get behind whoever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're not going to help anyone. Certainly not everyone starts with a clean slate once a new manager comes in. So you will have to get behind him, whether or not you agree with him or not. You can't please everyone in football. Hence the debate you see on social media. But I think Steve makes a good point about McCarthy. And I think there were 2 styles of McCarthy football. You had the one where do you remember we beat Middlesbrough 2-0? Was it Jay Tab rose above everyone to score?
Yeah.
And that was a real physical team that got the ball forward quickly, albeit long ball, which I still think Lee Evans could have a part to play if that's the route we go down with the Hollywood passes. And I really like that style. And I actually found that quite entertaining personally. Then you had the style after we got absolutely battered at Reading, the 5-1, which was there the Friday night. Then you saw him playing long ball, but also it was
pragmatic.
It was was almost like we've started with a point, we'll take it if needs be. So there was 2 different styles there a little bit. But I mean, if we can play in that style McCarthy had where we got to the top on Boxing Day or whatever it was.
This is my concern. Everyone's going, we want Warnock, and everyone's going, Harris is shit. They're cut from the same sodding cloth. Sorry, he's just 30 years older than Harris. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same. Effectively, Harris took over Warnock's Millwall side. He didn't invent it. He just carried on what Warnock was doing. So they're realistically the same sort of manager. So to bin one, you've got to bin the other. You know, I'm just one of those people who's just a little bit pragmatic. I really understand. I'd love a John Terry or someone like that. I don't know whether now is the time. I really don't. You know, people are going, oh, well, if we don't go up, I'm not going to support this club anymore. Well, maybe it's not the club for you, because I think that's going to be a reach. But the top and bottom of it is, I really want us to go up this year, but we need somebody with some experience, somebody who can galvanise this team. And that's going to take experience. It's going to take management experience. It's not going to take, well, as much as I'd love it, I'm the England captain, you'll do what I say, because my players will just say, I don't give a shit. You know, what have you won? I'd like McInnes as well. At the end of the day, I think he did a sterling job with Aberdeen. You know, finishing what was second, I think, about 3 years in a row. Won Scottish Cup, winning Scottish Cup with Rangers and Celtic in that league or in that cup. That's an achievement in itself.
Yeah,
you know. So someone like that or someone like Neil Harris would suit me down to the ground.
All right,
so managed in Europe as well.
Yeah,
people can say that on our list. We've got.
And look, can I just say one more thing? People turn around and say, you know, we got players who were from the Championship who dropped down. Let's not forget, Neil Harris has said himself he's refused Championship clubs this season, this year. So we're not actually, he's not actually a League One manager. I think there's only probably 2 or 3 clubs who would get Neil Harris in this league, and we're one of them. So let's remember, Neil Harris is a Championship manager. So I'd say McInnes is probably a Championship manager. So it's not a step down to go for Neil Harris. You know, it'd be a step down to go for the guy. You know, Edwards, the guy you want. I'm not convinced. You know, I think he needs to do a bit more before he has to be convinced. He's a good manager, but he needs to convince me more. It could be another Paul Hurst and it go badly, and I don't really want that. You know, I'd want someone with a bit more experience.
Perfect, Steve. As always, fantastic case for Neil Harris. Thank you for coming on. Look after that voice, particularly next weekend as a princess.
What we'll say about Neil Harris there in the interviews I've been watching, I think it's when he takes over at Cardiff and he says, look, I want this team to play, to represent the people that are on the terraces. You know, that's our job. We will be aggressive. We're going to be nasty. I mean, they're all the things that people have been saying we miss at Town. You know, we like Bond because he represents everyone on the terraces. And Rich said, we're too nice and not nasty enough. So I feel like probably Harris is ticking the boxes for what a lot of fans I think are missing right now.
Okay, Ashley Bell, be happy with Darren McInnes. He's the only one I like other than Lampard that I take at the moment. Then being said, whoever it was, we've got to support them. Craig at Portsmouth, Skews Douglas high midfield 3. Ashley Bell would love Appleton as well. I know it hasn't worked out with Lincoln this year, but there's a lot of players in the summer. Luke Chambers, anyone says Trevor Amos.
Yeah, I mean, Appleton set the bar. I mean, Chris Westbrom said this to me because he knows Appleton. He knows him. He said he set the bar really high last year by getting into the playoffs, and it was probably unexpected. And then, you know, he's lost players, and it's not worked out as much this season. But they're not in the relegation zone or anything like that. It's just that he set very high standards.
Absolutely. Safety Guy 20. It's getting to the stage we can't see the wood for the trees in relation to the manager. Whoever is appointed, many will be pissed off. Mike, the fisherman, look, it's sitting in front of a £5 Christmas tree.
60 quid.
Oh, that one weren't a £5 Christmas tree. I wish it was.
Where is it? Where is the £5 Christmas tree?
we didn't have one because we got this one.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All
yeah,
right.
we could have had one. Yeah, we could have had one. Yeah, but a real tree. But I just not in a million years. Real trees leave too many needles, and I can't be dealing with that.
Real trees are best trees, mate. You know.
No, but this is like a Canadian pine sort of thing, and obviously nicely decorated, gold and silver. A nice sort of.
You can't be a real tree, Mike. You can't be a real tree. You can't be a real tree. Your hair fell out one day, so you had to sweep that up, you know. So,
hey, I have my hair short, okay? I have a full head of hair. I have you know. I've got a wife at home if I want abuse.
Yeah. Mike, you've heard the show. You've got your thoughts. What's going on in the world of the fishermen?
Disappointed that you didn't celebrate the goal. I ain't gonna lie. Look, whatever your personal feelings are towards Norwood, I get that. I respect that totally. I'm not particularly a great fan of Enciala, but if he'd have scored yesterday, I'd have celebrated it because it's a goal for the town, isn't it? You know, forget about what he's done behind closed doors, you know, in his personal life. He's a striker that has come in, and we've all been saying, Leandro, myself, and a few others have all said he's probably the 100% fit. Norwood is probably the best striker at the club. You could disagree, and that's your right to disagree. But proof was in the pudding yesterday, wasn't it? Really? Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for Piggott. I still think we need to get off his back a little bit because, I think he's been ruined by Cook. I don't think he's helped him at all with his little cameo appearances here, there, and everywhere when he was probably brought in to be number one striker. Bond for me looks confident shot.
Can I just touch on that, Mike? If you listen to the John McGreal interview and he's says about Piggott and Bond, now they're two strikers who want to get crosses in the box, but we don't put crosses in the box.
No.
That's where we miss Burns. He'll get down the outside and he'll put a ball in. Like Edwards yesterday had a great run, didn't he? After they scored, but he's got to pass the ball.
There was Bond stood there in the middle of just outside the 6-yard box, wasn't he? And he had no one with him, and all he had to do was let outside of the foot, pass the Bond, bang, out to be in 1-1.
Yeah.
I just think Edwards is a classy player. He just lacks that final ball. Yeah. I think he's too selfish. I think he needs to be a bit more of a team player than a one-man band. I like him. He's got lots of pace.
Is he trying too hard, Mike? Is he trying too hard to get that goal and get that assist, maybe?
No, I don't know. I love the fact. Look, McGreal yesterday again started lineup. I wasn't impressed with the way it was the same old back sort of wing backs. Our back, right back, and left back. I didn't like that. Looked better in the second half. I must admit, we looked a bit more tidy, a little bit more neater. Burgess had a good game. Evans game brilliant, but Evans and Morsey, I don't see what they offer. I really don't. Morsey was okay, but he's a championship player. He should be ripping it up at this level. And he was just like another. Oh, really, Evans? I mean, the Wigan commentators on Dossian. That was the one that got me. That was hilarious. Dossian. And Dossian's got the ball. Who the hell's Dossian? Janice Dossian. I'm like, who's Janice Dossian when he's at home?
It's the French accent, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'd love to let Mike Lambert commentate because he'd come out with some great pronunciations, wouldn't he?
I certainly would, yes. However, in my defence, I did say to you, if you're going to use my words against me, Mr. Fisherman, am I happy Town scored? Yes. And I'm reading this. Am I happy we're not losing? Yes. But did I celebrate the fact that it was Norwood? No.
Here's a question for you, Mike. What is the issue then with Evans and Morsey playing together, do you think? What's the problem there? Because one's a good tackler and one's
neither of them look defensive, do they?
You don't think Morsey looks defensive?
Not really, no.
Really?
No.
That's all he is.
No, I don't think Morsey looks defensive at all. I think that's the problem. He's just getting caught out of position every 5 minutes. He's either on the right-hand side or left-hand side. Holding mid should be about 10 yards in front of the back two. And just moving left and right with the game.
That's what I thought they were doing yesterday, them two. I thought we had the back four and then we had two just sitting in front of them, going sort of sideways and backwards.
Oh, see, I didn't see, honestly, watching it on the iFollow and that, I just didn't see that. It's been like that for a while with them two. Morsey ends up on the edge of the box, right sometimes in the area as a defensive midfielder. That's not your role.
If you're playing two, Mike, one's got to get forward and one's got to sit.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not happening though, is it? That's why we can see goals, Richard, because we had
not yesterday. We didn't because it was from a set piece. The goal.
Sorry,
it didn't yesterday because the goal come from a set piece.
Oh no, yesterday, but we're not talking about just yesterday, are we? We're talking about this season.
Charlton as well, yeah.
Our midfield is it's been lackluster, lazy, and somewhat inept, to be brutally honest. And and that's what's caught, that sort of, we need a player that can actually understand their role on the pitch. Because if like you say, if one goes forward and the other one holds, that's great. But they're not doing that. They're completely not doing that. And Evans, he's got a Hollywood pass, and the Wigan commentators yesterday thought Evans was the next Messi, the way they were talking. And I thought that was hilarious to me.
He was ex-Wigan, so they're going to be a little bit complimentary, particularly when winning the game of football.
But it was nice. It was nice to see, Norwood get back on the score sheet. I was surprised that he got back in the side, and there's obviously lots of theories to why he hasn't started. Is it Cook? Is it Ashton? We don't know. I'll leave that to them to sort out. I couldn't care. All I care about is yesterday. The first half wasn't great. Two very poor teams, I thought, in the first half. Second half, I thought we played a lot better, and and it felt like that we were trying to get something out of the game. Whereas many games before didn't look like we were trying to get anything out of the game. So I took a 1-1 draw yesterday and thought, you know what? Yeah, that's a good result, especially against teams second in the division.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Edwards had that chance at the end. It got blocked.
Exactly. Yeah, we could have. Who's to say we couldn't have won that? And that's what's been lacking.
But then again, Matt, Will Keane's missed an absolute sitter. If you're saying Edwards had one blocked,
True.
Yeah, that worked. Yeah, but he weren't great.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like I say, and then obviously there's all this management talk. Am I a fan of Neil Harris? Not really, but if he comes in, I'll give him my support until I feel it's done.
You give him 5 games, Mike.
Sorry,
give him 5 games. I reckon you give him 5 games, Neil Harris, before you moan.
No, well, no, not really, because he's got to come in. He's got to have a bit of time. Paul Cook had 40 odd games, so he's got to have. Neil Harris will get to the end of the season with me, and that's the bottom line. I kind of understand what you were saying, Rich, with regards to the club having a plan B if they got rid of Cook. But to be fair, it wasn't working with Cook, and he was on par to have a worse record than Lambert before he got sacked. So for me, it was the right time, regardless. And McGreal coming in, wasn't happy with with the way he changed things in the first game. Second game, obviously, he looked at it half time, thought, right, okay, I need to put Danassin on the right, KV on the left, and he stuck Edwards on the left, on the right hand side, which I think is a good idea. I love Edwards on the right hand side because we've missed Burns big time on on that right hand side, and Aluko's a left footer. Just makes sense. And if we're looking for crosses in the box, then why not? But they've got to do that. It's all very well me talking about it and saying, "Oh, look, that's what they need to do." But they've got to do it on the pitch. They've got to say, look, what happened to players taking it to the byline and whipping one over? They just don't seem to do it. Always want to either cut inside and try the Hollywood shot. Or
there you go with your strikers, Matt, Mike. They love it. You get down to the byline and whip the ball in. If you're getting down to the byline and then cutting back, they've already made their run. So we can all sit on here and say Piggott and Bond didn't play very well, but they've got to have the service.
It was a lovely ball in from Evans yesterday from the set piece that we scored from, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant ball. And like I said, that's our crossing and our service has been shocking to the strikers. Bond for me needs to put. Bond should have been doing what Norwood was doing, and that was closing them back. Because there was times in that first half where he should have been closing down quicker, and they were just no one was.
It seems they let them have the ball. They let their defence have the ball, and they just sort of sat off them. They didn't mind them sort of knocking it about and sort of stat padding, as Martin would say. And they weren't really pressing. They said, right, have the ball there. And then, what did you think to the ref yesterday, Mike?
Honestly, look, I think from a Wigan side and an Ipswich side, that's probably the worst refereeing I've seen for a long time.
I think Chaplin was lucky, Matt. I think he stands on him. I think if that had been the Premier League,
I think if that had been the Premier League, VAR would have looked at that and thought, actually, no, there was no contact, because there was no contact.
No contact,
no. So
the one where the camera pans away and then he stands on him.
Yeah,
but that wouldn't have happened had the original foul not been given, which is never a foul in a million years.
So the yellow card, Martin. So he's given him the yellow card, then he's rescinded the yellow card, hasn't he? Because the linesman's told him he's diving.
Has he? I don't think you can rescind it. I don't think it can be.
It sort of went like that, but then he's given Wigan the free kick, which I could not understand.
The referee wasn't on the ball, was he? He was. It looked like he'd just come from like a Sunday League football match and thought,
he come from a Sunday League football, Mike, because he looked about 2 stone overweight as well.
He looked like me running on the pitch.
He's been around a long time, Trevor. Rumour has it he disappeared for a couple of years from refereeing. Rumour was that he was in Afghanistan. He was like a member of the army or something. That was someone told me that. I don't know if that was true.
I respect if he's a serving guy and all that. We've got to respect our armed forces. But at the same time, you're coming down and refereeing a game You know, in professional football, you should have a set a professional standard. And he looked completely out of his depth. That wasn't a great referee performance.
No,
and
I agree.
I'm an advocate for refereeing because without one, you don't have a game, you know. But the reality is, and you've refereed a lot, Richard, as well, haven't you? You know,
it's odd. It's odd when you get one look at it.
You get one look.
It's with pink boots on, yeah.
Why is he not working out for Piggott then in this too, Mike? Why?
He's had one game as a 2. Fucking hell. Why it ain't working out for him?
But he's anonymous in the game. Norwood comes on and suddenly scores.
I think a lot of the problem with Piggott is he's come in, probably thought he was going to be the number 1 striker.
Confidence, Mike. A lot of it's confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the confidence has been knocked out of not knocked out, but you know, pushed out of the bloke. You know, you're sat on the bench. You're not even getting 1 minute to go.
No.
You know, you're not going to get in a game like that. How's he supposed to? He needs to run a look. He does need a run of games. For me, Piggott and Bond too similar. I think they're very, very similar players. Bond's probably a touch better at the moment. But at the moment, as much as I never thought I'd say this because I didn't think he'd be playing for us, I think Norwood and Bond would probably be the best 2 pairing because I think they've both got something about them that Norwood will chase shadows, and I think Bond will if he had Norwood with him. You know,
Harris does pay 4-4-2, by the way. Harris does pay 4-4-2 if it's to be him.
He strikes me as a very 4-4-2, you know, Mike Bassett type, bit inspirational, motivational talker. You know,
who's that?
Neil Harris today.
Look, I know there's I can't believe Twitter sometimes. There's a few things being said on there regarding like, I'm going to give my season ticket up if Harris comes in, and I'm like, come on, this is our club, this is our football club. You know, we've had 17 years of dross. You know, let's just get behind a new manager. You know, we all got behind Cook, and then we started to realise. You know, I was like, okay, so he came in, had Lambert's side, made him worse. Okay, players didn't want to be here, whatever. But then it was the start that really threw it for me for Cook, and I think probably Martin as well. You know, we both could pretty much see it, and it just weren't going to work. So Cook's gone now. So okay, thanks Cook, nice lad, nice bloke, and all that. But you know, it didn't work here. Let's get. I was, you know, we're talking about managers. Was that Labardier, that German coach? He's met the guy. Yeah,
Dominic Mann said him in earlier in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I've said him before.
You said him last week to me, didn't you, Mike?
Sorry?
You said him to me last week.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, he's done well. He did well with Hamburg. You know, should we go down a foreign coach route? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Mike D is screaming in London right now, saying yes in front of his £60 Christmas tree because he wants to go down the foreign coaching route. He really does.
I want to go down the foreign coach route. I think I've kind of had enough of the English coaches.
I just want best man for the job. If that's Harris, that's Harris.
Yeah, of course it is. It is. You know, I'm not. I said,
I'm not a really good fit.
I'm not going to throw a spit me dummy out over it, but I do think, you know, it would be nice to see a foreign coach come here with different ideas and, you know, and maybe see where it goes. You know, Harris, will he be here will he be here? Possibly, yes. There's another one. We all thought it was going to be Appleton. Even I did, even though I weren't overly keen on having him. But yeah, it's a bit of a game, isn't it? A bit of a mystery of what's going on with
I think,
the club.
As we said at the top of the show, Mike, it certainly seems to me, and I said this on the phone to Rich when he was driving back yesterday, the fact that we've not seen any movement at any other club suggests it's going to be someone who's available.
One lap left, and Verstappen is right up Lewis's arse. The safety car's just come in.
Safety car, really?
Yeah, they had a safety car for about 4 or 5 laps, and he's just come in with 1 lap to go.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a few conspiracy theories out there over that one if Lewis loses this now.
Oh, he's got by him. Verstappen's got by him.
Oh, hang on a minute. No.
There you go. Anyway, back on Norwood, if you want to get back in the good books of some fans, do what you did yesterday, because he did change the game and he did score a goal. That's what you got to keep doing. Keep your head down, work hard on the pitch, and your name will be chanted from the terraces once again, young man. That's really what it's all about. That's all we care about at the end of the day. Mike, some great points in there. Go on, Matt.
was just going to say, just in terms of we're talking about managers. Remember when Howe left Bournemouth and went to Burnley? It was like terrible there. Went back to Bournemouth, had success. Sometimes managers are a really good fit for a certain club. Like I'm just looking at Mark Robbins here. He's had great success at Coventry, but he didn't do anything at Huddersfield. Didn't do anything at Scunthorpe. All clubs you thought he might do well. Goes back to Coventry, gets him to the Championships. You just don't know. Unglamorous names to fans could be really good fits for clubs.
I guess the biggest question right now is who's going to be the manager for the Sunderland game? Will it be McGreal or will it be the new one?
You got to think it's going to be the new guy. You got to
Depends.
that's the time I've got to be working.
That's a strange time still at the club, isn't it?
Well, it is strange times. And the times get stranger because Mark Dowling has just said he'd play Jackson and Norwood up front next game. And he's been slagging Jackson for the last 6 months.
For Barrow.
No, for Sunderland.
Oh, for Sunderland.
I think he means Sunderland, yeah. Give Jackson one more chance. I don't know if he's sort of, been on the Guinness. I don't know if he's banged his head.
Been on the sauce.
Yeah, like...
We said Friday that I still think McGreal will do Barrow with the new guy as a watching brief, and then he'll be in charge Thursday through to the Sunderland game. That's how I think it'll probably work out.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, as always, appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. Yeah, what's left of it.
I like your tree. I really do. And don't forget, tomorrow, 7:15, the F1 fan show live with myself, Steve Thompson, and Neil Moles breaking down what's just happened in.
Is it over then? Is it
Max has won.
So he's now champion, is he?
He's world champion.
Wow. Whoever got 1 moment. All right. As you're asking for it, I don't want to be a Scrooge. Hang on, just a second. Hang on.
Here he comes.
Hey, he's getting his money's worth. He paid £8 for this, everybody. It suits you.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Get the background on. I like your little background.
All right.
Snow background. It's good.
I like it when you get all forceful, Matt. There you go. Beautiful. Merry Christmas, one and all, including James Norwood.
Why would people not want Neil Harris? It's all really well saying I don't want that guy, but why would you not want him? You got Cardiff, like I say, you've got a good Cardiff squad into the playoffs in the Championship. We think we've got a good squad, don't we? That's been underwhelming people, as Mike said yesterday. Why could he not galvanise us? We have to get on a run somehow, don't we?
We do.
We have to get on a run. And we need and the new manager bounce is really key, isn't it? In very critical games because we've got Sunderland, then it's Gillingham, then it's Wickham,
and then it's Lincoln.
And then it's Lincoln.
Yeah.
Big games.
Big games. All three are pack out PR, and thanks to Richard Moss, the place is going to be packed out.
It's Saturday. They sold over 28,500 for Sunderland.
We're going to ruin someone's Christmas.
Good luck if you're going to park, because I think you're coming on the train, aren't you, Matt, Saturday?
Yes, and I'm coming bearing gifts for you too.
Are you really?
Yes.
Nice. I like it. I got fuck all for you.
Your gifts aren't from Harrods, by the way. But
I know.
Them tea bags. Them tea bags were good last time.
He's going to do what he did last time: buy a Harrods tea box bag and then put a load of Tesco value bags in them.
Wait, tasted good. What do they were?
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. That's what it is. You see, it's like the old placebo pill. It's all in the mind. It really is. I tell you, it's going to be important these next round of games. Rich, a question in the chat. I don't know why they wanted to know your thoughts on it, but who do you want as manager? That was what the question was.
I don't really know. If I'm honest, I haven't got a clue. I'm with Stephen Parry. Whoever it is, let's get behind him. Neil Harris, would he be a bad appointment? He wouldn't excite me, but at the minute, I think we need to realise as a football club where we are. I see Colin in the chat there saying he wants Frank Lampard. Not happening in a million years. I said to Colin the other day, Frank Lampard was managing in the Champions League. Why would he go from that to managing next season in the Papa John's Trophy? It's not happening. It's not going to happen.
Right. The idea is that he'll be in the Championship, right? That's the idea.
If we were in the Championship, sitting 11th, when we wanted Frank Lampard and he was available, I think you'd have a chance of getting him, Matt. When you're sitting 11th or 12th in the third tier, no way. No way is Frank Lampard coming in.
We debated this Friday. Why? I mean, look, we've got the money to get him, I think, but as a career move, why would he come in?
Do you just think all these journalists and websites just sit there and they've got this dartboard full of faces, and they just literally every time there's a job opening, they just sit there and go, throw a dart at it. It's hit Frank Lampard this time. He's going to Barrow. Right, let's write about it.
Yeah,
I
also like the fact everyone thinks they're sifting through CVs like it's an administration role. I'm like Chef Kikuchi here. I'm doing McInnes and in interviewing them, right? Derek, tell us a little bit about yourself. It's not really how it works. They're just chats. It's not. What's your strengths and weaknesses?
Yes. Can you galvanise a team?
Tell us a time when you felt you really overachieved in your KPIs.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Nick Muller, a manager should earn his stripes in lower leagues. A bit like what Robbie was doing. Mike D, it would mean the return of a gilet. I don't trust gilet wearing managers.
I've asked Mike for Christmas. I'm getting a gilet from family members. I've asked for one. I feel like I've got the build. So don't knock it. It's a good look. They used to be called body warmers back in the day, in the 80s.
I've got a town one downstairs somewhere. I have. Yeah. I've got it many years ago. I bet Rich probably got the same one.
So, I've got one.
Yeah.
What was the comment on Friday? Someone said Rich would be fuming if Tony Pulis gets the role.
Yes.
World Club merch from him.
He's got everything. He's got the cap. He's got the jacket. He's got everything. It's Tony Pulis.
Tony Pulis takes all his press conferences standing up. He stands up for them. Yeah. The only manager that does it. Weird,
I'm surprised he's not been mentioned though. You know.
Pulis ball. I mean, that is long ball, but again, effective. Who knows? He could be in the mix. You just don't know. I don't think that's the plan.
Wideman is confirmed. Doesn't want Neil Harris. A name that keeps coming up more and more as we head into the week is Darren Ferguson. What would you? And Mike randomly texted me yesterday morning saying thoughts.
That's what he said. He's just signed a new contract at Peterborough. He won't be leaving Peterborough. He's died in the wall there with Dara.
Good.
I mean, he's been there. How many times has he been there? Three different times.
Third time now.
Him and Darrow seem to be like they're just hand and glove them two, aren't they? That's someone who fits that club like Eddie Howe.
He struggled when he went to Preston before, Matt. He went to Preston and he didn't really do it there, did he? So
exactly, yeah.
I wouldn't take him.
As long as we just find if it's Neil Harris and he really fits us.
That Christian Horner, he needs a punch in the mouth, doesn't he? What an arrogant twat he is, that bloke.
Who's this?
He's the Red Bull.
I'd love to smash him one.
Thoughts are their own, not of the network. I do remind people at home, and I don't condone violence of any kind.
I know nothing about Formula One. I don't know who you're talking about.
No. Very quickly, we are obviously live tomorrow with some cricket chat. Do you want to tell the guys and girls at home what's
it went well, didn't it? Cricket went well, didn't it, guys? Everyone's getting carried away. We had one decent day. Oh, yeah, England back in the game. Oh, yeah. Woke up. I listened to it yesterday, Matt, because obviously I stayed over in Wigan. I think I listened to the first 20 minutes. They lost 2 wickets, and I thought, here we go again. You've seen it so many times when we go down under. You know, England start poorly. You watched something, didn't you, the other day?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And what about friend of the show, Ian? What's his hashtag?
Lofted on Drive.
Yeah.
Those videos you've been posting.
He was there yesterday. I met him yesterday at the game. He's on with us tomorrow night, 7:45. Myself,
Ian,
Lofted on Drive, Ian Davis. The guys from All the Overs Essex podcast. I'm not sure about Brandon because his wife's car's broke down and he might have to pick her up from work. So if not, there'll be us four on. So we'll give the breakdown.
Can't she walk?
When you sent me that video, and I didn't know that. When you sent me that video, Rich, and I didn't know it was Ian, I actually thought that was a cricket broadcaster. I thought it was so good. I was like, who's this guy?
Wasn't it? Great, wasn't it?
Really good. If cricket, tune in. It was really Ian.
Yeah, tomorrow night we'll pick apart what sort of happened and then look into.
That's gonna be a must watch.
The day night test. Good timings, Matt, for the second test because it starts at 4 a.m.
Oh, you'll be up.
Yeah, 4 a.m. day nighter. So
pink ball.
Probably be the same result though.
Pink ball.
When do we think we're going to see an announcement then as we end the show? Let's put our prediction Mystic Meg hats on. When do we think there's going to be an announcement?
I think tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Tomorrow is fine. We've got a show tomorrow. That's good. Mr. Moss?
I think I wouldn't be surprised someone around about Tuesday and he'll be at the game.
Yeah.
At Barrow on Wednesday having a little look and then in the dugout for next Saturday.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win next Saturday. I've got a funny feeling. It's weird how it goes, isn't it, Matt? Because we hammered Pompey a while back. They haven't lost since. We went to Sunderland. Lee Johnson was on the verge of getting the sack.
Yeah.
They looked absolutely terrible and they beat us 2-0.
Yeah.
And look at the run they've gone on now. So it's all about that new manager. We can get him in. We've got to get that momentum, haven't we? We need that bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was what was missing. That's always a little piece of the jigsaw that missed for Cook. And Kate said it from the top, didn't she, when she was on the show? We never got the manager bounce. Very odd.
No. We didn't. We really didn't. No. I'm going to say this evening. I'm going to say it's going to be announced this evening. Why not? Or certainly rumbles of a town have approached somebody type. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Do you want to mention the Martin Samuel article, or do you want to leave that in last week's junk?
I mean, it was just something someone sent me that on one of my WhatsApps. And Martin Samuel, very good sports writer for the Mail, Daily Mail, had said that, you know, with Newcastle struggling at the moment and fans saying, oh, maybe it would be a good time for them to get relegated to come back up. He cited Ipswich as being a team that, you know, has gone through the divisions, having been in the Premier League 20 years ago, is kind of cast away and stranded. So it was interesting to see a top-notch sports writer taking a look at Ipswich is never on their radar and viewing this as a club that's been cast away a little bit, which is probably why it was so important to get up this season, as Martin kept saying, because, you know, I mean, it's still not lost. I feel like we're still a little bit further back, but, you know, Charlton fans still think they're in the mix and they're only a point ahead of us. It's why it's so important to get back in the mix, because my dad used to call League 1 and 2 down amongst the dead men. There was a book when Man City got relegated to League 1 or Division 3, whatever it was. It was called Down Amongst the Dead Men, and my dad always used to call it. He said, Ipswich are down amongst the dead men. So we need to get back. We need to revive ourselves. And it was just interesting that we were used as an example of a club that has disappeared off the radar. Not in our worlds, because we're also invested, as the show today has proved. But to get back on that football radar, we need to be in the Championship.
But we did say that, didn't we? A lot of fans said that. Oh, yeah, we'll go down. We can rebuild. We'll have a League 1 tour, you know, 100 points, 100 goals. And here we sit in the third season in this league. And it's probably looking at the minute. I know football can change quickly. It's probably looking that we're going to be here for a fourth season.
It feels to me like we're like Forest, Nottingham Forest were, where they went down and really struggled to get back. And in fact, the Charlton game, Rich, reminded me of a match where Forest got beaten, or they were losing quite heavily at half time. And I think Gary Megson was the manager. And he invited 2 supporters into the dressing room to give the team talk. So where we are at the moment very much reminds me of Forest, but Forest eventually got out that division. And they were pushing for playoffs last season, weren't they?
It does show you, though, what Charlton, they got rid of Nigel Adkins, didn't they? They were third bottom, Martin, I think, when he went. Yeah. The thing I find amazing there, Matt, is still Johnny Jackson. He's still temporary manager. Why are they not giving him the job?
That'll change.
He'll get that, won't he? Was he a coach for Johnny Jackson? Did he play for them?
Yeah, I think he played for there, but he's been at Charlton for quite a while. And
he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. He's really turned it around there. Hopefully, we'll see exactly the same with our new guy. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, all that lot.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, it can't be much worse. Surely it can't be much worse. Right. We've got a few comments. We've got Lee Brown says tomorrow. Dominic says tomorrow. Ashley Bell says tonight at 7 p.m. Very precise, Ash. I'll keep my eyes open at 6:59. See if that's right. Monday's a strong possibility from Terry Noonan, who's been on it all the way. Callie says 100 points, 100 goals are still technically on. Craig at Portsmouth, as a kid in the 1970s, we were everybody's second favourite team.
Is Terry still on the chat before we leave? Terry, put in your comments. Who do you think is going to be the gaffer?
Yeah, who do you think?
Watching the market so carefully. Yeah.
Monty says Jackson's first managerial role. Yeah. The bar is so low, Matt, it's underground. True. Yeah. True. But yeah, interesting article. Give it a read on the Daily Mail website from Martin Samuel. Interesting that he used just not Sunderland with Newcastle being the rivals.
They're longer than us.
They have, yes, but they are doing much better than we are.
What? Just quickly, Martin. So if a new manager comes in, what is his remit like from you and Matt for the rest of the season? What would you say is progression?
Top six.
Tough that though, isn't it? It's such a.
I just think you just need to improve. You need to improve. Say we finished 7th or 8th and we've improved and we're looking better on the pitch. Yeah, it's a big ask to get to the playoffs from where we are.
That's the same thing though. Like if you fall short because he came in too late, that's the same thing as being in the playoffs. You know, like you've got to put yourself into the playoff conversation, playoff form, all those different things. And when you come up against big teams, beat them at least once. Are we
on 28 points?
We were 9 away from the playoffs.
So last year, 6th got 74. That was Oxford.
Oxford, wasn't it?
So we played 22 games. Say we lost on Saturday against Sunderland, Matt. We would need to go bang on 2 points a game from there to get in. We're nearly at 2 points a game now to make that 74, and it might be higher this year. You don't know.
It's a tough ask, that, isn't it?
It is a massive ask.
I suppose it is to give my remit to him would be try and get 6 if you can, but try and get as close to the playoffs as possible, just to give everyone that momentum to to go into next season, because again, the Americans will want to see an uptake in season tickets.
A bit like Joe Royal when he came in that first season. I know he came in a little earlier. We just missed out, didn't we? I remember we smashed Pompey, didn't we, down at Portman Road when they'd already won the league. I think we beat them 3-0. But we were always just sort of outside, not quite making it. But I want us just, whoever comes in, just to see some improvement on the pitch.
I think in the articles I've read about Harris as well, he likes to thrive on being the underdog role, which is what Millwall was all about, wasn't it? No one likes us, we don't care. You know, gate crashing playoffs and all that kind of thing. He recovered from testicular cancer when he was a young apprentice.
I remember him from Cambridge City. He played at Cambridge City when he was a youngster. Yeah. And I think he went from Cambridge to Millwall. But I was getting yesterday, Matt. When I was at that game yesterday, I'm seeing a team who are here as second in the league. You've got just over 10,000 at the game. Whereas Saturday, we're 12th in the league. We're going to have 28, nearly 29,000 there, you know. Look at the club that whoever's coming in, we're not doing that well on the pitch at the minute. But like McAntony said on his podcast, it's a massive club, Ipswich.
It's made up. You couldn't ask for any better, could you? As a new manager coming in, you can have a full house, basically. But what I was going to say was, you know, if it is Harris, he was told he would never make it as a footballer because of his illness and the recovery. And he said, I will make it. I will show you. And he's gone on to be Millwall's top scorer and managing in the game. So if he brings that kind of mentality to Ipswich, brilliant.
Absolutely. Yep. We've got Ian Dow would be a fit, would fit the role, says Terry Douglas. Brighton, let's very quickly. Brighton could recall Walton. Thoughts on that news article from the Sun emanating this morning?
You've got to think, you know, if he's not been put off by that numbnut who ran on the pitch and pushed him Tuesday.
It put me off. I'd be trying the phone to the agent saying, get me out of here.
Great move from that guy. Well done. You know, brainless. If she's going to afford him, they'll probably try and get him.
Okay. Crunch.
He's been our best goalkeeper since Bart Martin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's definitely... His kicking's the only part of his game that I think sometimes he just needs to work on that. Shot stopping, commands his area, and then he comes for the crosses.
I agree.
Disappointing again. Yesterday, he does it. Another great save, like he did at Charlton in the week. We have to react quicker for them second ball.
But then the new manager might come in and say, there's a keeper I want. He can go back to the man. You just don't need to know. He might go, I want a Holy back in. You just don't know, do you?
I hope not, because he might lose me quicker than Crunch even thinks he might lose me. Not a chance. Kevin Flavin, well said, Cruncher. Ipswich are a fantastic club with a huge fan base. Mike D, that Pompey game Caniago was on.
It's going to be great, isn't it? Next Saturday, we're all going to be there. You know, there's going to be a lot of new people going to that game. And won't it be fantastic to sit there and see the stadium full? You know,
absolutely.
But what we need to do is perform on the pitch next Saturday. Don't turn up and lay a big turd.
Exactly.
No, absolutely.
The crowd, with the atmosphere, will come the Section 6 lot and all the crowd, the North Stand, get behind them. I mean, it's all going to be set up with a new manager.
Great banner yesterday before the game. Play for the badge.
Play for the badge, yeah.
And they did. And they did. I was really impressed yesterday. Really
and like I said on Tuesday, Martin, if we lose games, look, we can accept it. But the performance Tuesday was unacceptable. Morsey said it yesterday. Yeah. And also Morsey said, I don't know if you've listened to it, Matt, at the end of his interview, maybe it should be more action and less talk. And I think we'd all agree with that.
Talk is easy. More action, absolutely. We've been saying that on the show for ages.
If we don't get a manager soon, the longer this goes on, the longer John McGreal will play himself into the conversation based on yesterday. He changed the fullbacks. He changed the shape. He made 2 subs at 60, 65 midway through the second half, changed the game. The longer this goes on, and particularly with the games coming up at home being top contenders, if yesterday is the start of what he can offer with a few days' grace, I think the longer it goes on, the more he'll play himself into contention of the conversation. I'm not saying it's the wrong.
If they can't get who they want, do you think, when he comes into it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there is a scenario where he gets it for the rest of the season, I think. But I think they know who they want, and you'll see it tomorrow.
He surprised me yesterday, though. With how he approached the game, 4-4-2 away from home against second place Wigan, how he changed the game.
It's like he said, Martin. Though, when the other night at Charlton, we didn't have a shot on goal, and like he said, that's unacceptable, and it is.
I don't think
albeit his responsibility.
Yeah, Stephen Parry says, I don't think he wants it. I don't think he'd turn it down though.
He's always said, didn't he say in the first few interviews I'm here until the new manager arrives?
He did say that yesterday as well after the game. He sort of basically said, if he leaves him in a better place, and it's helping the new manager to come in, fair play to him.
It was nice to see a plan B. He switches the fullbacks over, he switches the attacking options over. That was. I mean, I've been a bit critical of John because I don't think he's been particularly inspiring on the microphone, but he did it in the dressing room. That's a fair play.
I liked his interview after the game yesterday. I liked it. 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, he looked more alive yesterday.
Yeah, he looked shell shocked in the other interviews.
His head must have been spinning though. Maybe. To be honest,
to be fair,
he's coming to the club Friday, Saturday evening. He's in the Ashton's office. Can you take the manager's job for now?
But that's the same though, isn't it? That's the same for the players. In all fairness.
Well, Horsey said that to me when I said to him on Thursday. I actually said to him, "You're all fucking shit. I ain't gonna mess about." I said that to him, and he's like, "Yeah, but we would like, the manager's been sacked, and you do think of it now. Yeah, they probably were a little bit. It was still unacceptable that performance the other night. I shouldn't be.
They've played for managers that have been sacked before. I mean, I know maybe it was a little bit different. They've got the previous relation who could, but still,
really good guy though. Really good guy, Matt Sammy Morsey. But I'll tell you one thing about him. He don't mind dropping a few F-bombs.
That's that Cali influence, I reckon. 100%. Right, we're done. We are back tomorrow. Govmus is a busy man because at 7:15.
Govmus.
Yes. I didn't give myself that name.
Anyway, I love that. Was great. The little package you put together there, the highlights with Matt's music.
Yeah, I thought it was as well.
I liked it.
Yeah. Counting down to Christmas.
Can you play out with it?
Busy. No. Busy.
I haven't set it up, has he?
No, I haven't set it up. No. But we're back tomorrow, 7:15. Myself, Neil Mole, Stephen Thompson to bring you the Formula One breakdown following a really good race. It sounds like. Then at 7:45. So Neil, if you're watching this, be on time tomorrow because at 7:45, he will pick you out.
Talking town, F1, the Ashes, and then town.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you're home tomorrow night, don't bother with EastEnders, Emmerdale, Corrie.
No.
Just get on the home dressing room. Put this on 7:15. Yeah. You've got 2.5 hours.
You have.
Entertainment guaranteed.
Yeah, 7:45.
I know one person who won't be watching it. Gov. Him up there.
Yeah, well, I will be. I'll be on it. But him.
That's bath time, isn't it, Matt? Is it bath time?
Generally between 6 and 7 bath time.
Then you've got to have your dinner. What time do you have dinner now?
What he means, though, Rich, is between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. is bath time because he's always busy, and then he gets him out and puts him back in the bath.
Christmas Day, Matt. What time do you have your Christmas dinner?
About 3:30
in the morning.
In the afternoon. We have like a little brunchy thing in the morning. A little bit of salmon and that.
Yeah, I don't like salmon. Not for me.
Do you know? And then about 3 to 3:30 normally. Yeah, we're at my mum's this year.
Turkey.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh,
not salmon. I had you down as a salmon boy.
What, for my Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
I'm not going to double up because I've already had it in the morning, haven't I? On the brunch.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Who's Sunderland? Got any salmon? Sorted.
Absolutely. But if cricket and F1 aren't your thing, 8:30, myself, George Nunn, and Vicky will be with you talking.
Is Vicky better now?
I hope so. She's on the show.
She's at the game Saturday. Let's get that swear jar ready.
Who swears more, Morsey or Vicky? Or was it a no contest?
Good. Close.
Great
over.
question. And we may be back sooner with a manager update. Who knows? But until then, he's the Mogul. He's the Cruncher. I'm the Gov. With love, with care. Merry Christmas.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us